Okay, in terms of my vision, I would hope to prepare students to become successful in the 21st century. Success can have a lot of definitions to different people, but I want to give them the basic fundamentals of responsibility and knowing what hard work looks like, what accomplishment looks like, so they can get a feeling of success in my classroom and carry that on with them to life after high school, and really use it as a tool in whatever they end up doing for a career to ultimately be successful and live a happy life. Another thing that I hope my students get out of my class is to view learning not as a chore, but as something that can be fun and enjoyable. I hope they would take away that learning does not end after high school or college. It's something that stays with you throughout your life, and the more you learn and know about something, the smarter person you'll become and the more informed decisions you can make. And right now I'd say we're not there yet. A lot of students, like to, when we do an assignment, give it to me because, one, they don't want to hang on to it because they know they'll lose it, and two, they want to see that their hard work gets rewarded instantaneously with a good grade. And I collect things randomly, grade them randomly, so hopefully over the long term, when they see this go on enough and constantly hear the reminders that this is for you, not for me, that they'll kind of start to figure out that, okay, yeah, this is for me to learn. It's not about the grade. After high school, after college, there aren't A's, B's, C's, D's, and F's to grade yourself on. It's just knowing sometimes you have to be the judge of whether you accomplish something or not, and you have to create your own scale. I tell them grades are just a marker of where you are in a certain point in time. It's not an indication of where you have the potential to be. So it's just to inform both of us where you, the student, stand and what work we need to do to bring you up. But the grade is not the end all be all. They just serve as a benchmark. So I hope they kind of understand the concept of learning in school, why we're here, and what its ultimate purpose is. At the year's end, success for me means that students will be asking questions, that they will be self-directed in their work, meaning that they'll be working on their own without me having to hover by their side, make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Their heads won't be down, that they can recall concepts we've studied and not ask, how do I do this, when it's something we've been doing all year. So again, we're a long way from that right now, but that would be my hope at the end. If we can if I can teach the lesson and maybe just help out on an as needed basis, without everyone saying, how do I do this, how do I do that, then I'll know that, okay, they've come a long way, they're really getting it, that the information, the concepts we've reviewed, they're really retaining, and so that would be a way to measure the success. In terms of how my big goal and vision comes to life on a daily basis, I'd say the concepts that I'm teaching, it's important for them to understand, so of course they can do well on the end of year assessments and do well in the course, but also again I try to give little life lessons and anecdotal examples where I can, where I think they fit in when they're appropriate, sometimes on a whole group basis, sometimes on a one-on-one basis, and to really ask them, what are you going to do after high school? Where do you see yourself? And a lot of the responses are, I don't know, or they give a oh, I'm gonna be a drug dealer, and you can tell they're really not taking it seriously right now. So I hope the more they hear about it, and the more they hear about the statistics of kids that graduate from high school and are successful compared to the ones that don't graduate from high school and end up being successful, I hope they understand that I need to graduate. I need to go to college. I need to have a plan for my future. I need to set goals for myself. It won't just happen on its own. I'm the driver of my own success and of my own life. So, trying to remind them on a daily or near daily basis of that is one way to bring the vision and big goal to life in the classroom. As far as investing families and students, I've called a lot of parents, and the response overall has been positive from them. We've been on the same page. I haven't had one parent who's has really disagreed with what I'm trying to do or what I'm trying to accomplish for their son or daughter. So that's encouraging to have them on my side, and I've seen a big difference in a lot of kids after I've made those phone calls or spoken to them in person. Notice a big difference in the behavior, attitudes, and grades of some of those kids. Not all, but some of them. So I know that is that's something real, and so now that I've initiated some of those relationships, I think just keeping in contact, to send reminders to let the parents know how the kid is improving or stagnating, so they can continue to monitor, the student at home, so that they won't regress back to where they started. So I've had seen some success with getting the parents involved. As far as steps to take to get my students where they need to be, I think constantly reinforcing the fundamentals, which we do through the daily warm-up, among other, classwork and daily lessons. The warm-up kind of serves as a review, things they should know, some things they've seen before, some they haven't. So it's a reinforcement and a kind of a challenge, depending on the question, to kind of make their own connections from a concept we've learned and applying it to something that they haven't necessarily seen before in the exact same format that maybe it was on a quiz or a class assignment. So trying to do both, and I think that's how you really get them to grow. Reinforce what they've learned and push them a little bit at a time, so that it's not too overwhelming, that they just shut down and break down, but that they're able to continue and progress a little bit at a time, and then at the end of the year it should all add up to make a big difference. One thing I've noticed at the beginning, I wasn't providing enough explicit examples. I was trying to get them to make the connections in those steps maybe too early. So now I'm kind of going back and showing specific examples in the same format of how they'll see it on the classwork that day, on the homework that night, and on the quiz before we get to the questions that look a little bit different from